So I'm Barnes Anton, second year student at University of South Wales, studying nutrition, physical activity and community health. Doing a presentation today on Olympic weightlifting shoes. I wanted to do something a bit different from the usual kind of nutrition and physical activity elements that we study. And it's something I enjoy, and hopefully you'll learn something about it. So what we're going to be talking about today is the basics of the shoe. I've got a pair here of my own as well. I'll pass you one that you can have a look at and pass around. I sprayed them with deodorant so they shouldn't smell too bad. So we'll talk about the basics of them, why we bother using the shoes and why professional athletes use them, and the pricing of these shoes as well, and then we'll have a question and answer session at the end. If you do have any questions as we go along though, just let me know, and while they're fresh in your mind, just ask. So the basics of the shoe, this is an example, the Nike's top version of them. Chose this picture because it's nice and yellow, kind of a lime colour, so it keeps you awake and keeps your attention. There's three distinguishing factors of these shoes compared to like your traditional running or training shoe. First of which is the sole, which is very hard and
it's heavy,
very hard and heavy. And it might not look it, but it grips very well. If I try and push and pull that on the table, it doesn't move. Also, the shoe as a whole is very tight all over. It's got heel support in the back, which keeps your heel nice and rooted in the shoe and the heel. And it also has a metatarsal Velcro strap, makes you look like a kid, to keep the middle of the foot stable as well. This is to increase the stability within the shoe, so it stops your foot sliding in and around the shoe, and also stops the shoe sliding itself. So you have a nice firm base, and it leads to more efficient movement for the force generated. I won't go into it too much because it's physics and I don't really understand it a lot. But when you squat in these, all the force is absorbed in the heel, and then when you come out of the lift, it comes back into you. If you were to do it on a mattress instead, when you squatted into the mattress, all the force would be pushed out throughout the mattress. So it's a very efficient movement. It's very safe for the lifter as well. Probably the biggest feature of these shoes is the heel. They range from just under 1 inch to above 1 inch, and it's probably nothing compared to what you guys are used to wearing, but it gives you this extra feature, which I'll talk about now. So why bother wearing these shoes? Well, it's about this heel that I just mentioned. When you raise the angle of the heel in a shoe, you increase the mobility of the ankle joint. And this has the secondary effect of increasing the flexibility of your calves and hamstrings on your posterior chain. This is important for an Olympic weightlifter like this man here, and this kind of gives you an idea of one of the Olympic lifts, the snatch. And when you can see in this position here or that position there, they're in a really deep squat, and this Olympic heel is what helps them get in that low squat and keep their back upright and safe, which is a safe and efficient movement for the athlete themselves. If they were to do this in a flat shoe, they would have to be extremely flexible and have a lot of mobility, which a lot of athletes don't have the time to fit into their schedules. I know from my own personal experience, I put these on and straight away it was like a miracle. It was a lot better straight away. So that's why people wear them. Pricings of the shoe, as with anything, you get a low budget end and a high budget end. On the left here we have I don't even know what brand it is. It's a very cheap maker shoe, but it does the job, and that costs around £50 for that shoe. And then here you have the Nike model, which is one of the biggest on the market, and these sell for around £200. Mine are a bit in the middle, they're about £90. So that gives you kind of idea of the pricings of these shoes. So, any questions about them?
I do.
Got one
You start, please. Yeah.
Because like with a deep squat, you usually your heel will probably lift off the floor if you didn't have the flexibility.
Yeah.
So I can imagine it's probably, are they comfortable as well to wear?
They're very comfortable, yeah. What you find is that on the outside they're extremely hard.
Yeah.
But on the
because
inside,
they're heavy as well, aren't they?
They are. But that's often helpful because
it keeps your force down when
yeah, definitely. It keeps you tied down to the floor, which is what you want, and it allows you to get into the squat deeper, which for a lot of people they think the squat is just bending at the knee slightly, but in order to activate the whole of the kinetic chain in the movement,
You've
you
got to
want
go
to be
lower.
going as low as possible, and this will allow you to, if you don't have the ankle mobility and the flexibility in certain muscles.
And I think even if you add the ankle mobility, I think you're less prone to injury by having that little step.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you probably over contraindicating, if that makes any sense, by not having that heel, because you know, even if you've got the flexibility there.
Something some people do that don't have these shoes or can't afford these shoes is they'll stand on weight plates instead. So they'll simulate this kind of heel in a flat shoe.
Yeah.
It's not the preferred method, but people that I've worked with, who
better
I've trained, it produces similar results. It's not the same, but for people who can't even afford to spend the £50 on the low-end shoes, it's not for anyone by any means, but it can be helpful. There are alternatives to it.
So what store did you purchase them from, or online store?
I got these online from a website called Pullum Sports, but you can find them online anywhere.
So you wouldn't necessarily buy them from like JD Sports, because I haven't seen.
No.
No, it's a specific.
You can buy running shoes almost anywhere because they can be worn fashion. You wouldn't be able to wear these down the high street. You wouldn't be able to. I doubt you'd be able to walk a mile in these shoes because of the way they are. You can't get the heel-toe strike like you do when you normally walk. They're not made for fashion as well, so the high street brands won't sell them. You need to look for the specific sports shops, and there aren't those kind of shops on the high street, so going online is probably the best alternative.
Because I know Brad had to have a pair when he was with the Blues, and I'm just like, it cost me so much money when he was in the Blues, considering they're supposed to have funded some of it. I think they were about 150 quid they wanted in the Blues, and he managed without by using a plate, but I know they were about £150.
My question was in relation of the size of the heel.
Yeah.
Is something which has to be, you might have is it something that is controlled? And I never thought about shoes, and I never thought about it. It's the first time ever. I think that people with that specific sport, they need a specific shoe. But it makes sense.
There's guidelines within the Olympic Olympic Games that they have. I believe it's minimum. Well, you could do it in your barefoot if you wanted to. The standard shoes, they go from a size 0.63 inches to about a 1.3, and this is just below 1.3. Any bigger than that, and it's just not effective. You lose the efficiency you've gained.
But nothing above that.
Nothing
that would
above
be
that.
you would
no
not.
tendency for that, no.
Are these shoes checked when people are going to Olympic Games, or are they?
I think because there's only a certain the field of these shoes. There aren't many different brands producing them. There's only probably 20 different shoes with these kind of heels. So everyone knows them and everyone will recognise them. There's very few people that will ever turn up with their own shoes that aren't recognised by just looking at them. I imagine if they were to, they would have to check those.
Because I was expecting them, when Brad told me about them about 2 years ago, I was expecting them to be not like a nice like that, or nice like the Nike ones you showed us. I was expecting it to be just like a black, I don't know. Yeah, just something.
They do have some like that. And when previously, this heel's made of like plastic polymer. They have previously had a leather shoe with a wooden block screwed into it on the back, just to make do. So you have, if you look at the Olympic Games in previous times, you have had people compete in those kind of shoes. But as the sport becomes more popular, athletes get more and more funding, they're just given these shoes, so they wear them.
Because would you say that, like Brad's 18 now, so I think it was like I don't think when he played for the Blues at 16, I think it's when he was 17, he came home and said, oh Mum, they're saying they got these weightlifting shoes now. So I think it's do you know when they sort of like become popular then? Because it hasn't been long, have it?
No.
Or they become on the market, maybe weightlifters.
I think what's happened is they've always been around in Olympic weightlifting, and as other sports incorporate Olympic weightlifting into their programs, particularly CrossFit. CrossFit as a sport is very dominated by Olympic weightlifting, and it's a kind of new trend that's come around in recent years. As that's become more popular,
they brought these in,
people have become more aware of the Olympic lifts and their benefits, and the crossover between the Olympic shoes and squatting. So more people who train who don't train for Olympic lifting like me become aware of them.
Do you think podiatrists have come in and they've perhaps they've come in and sort of like had an input about it, I would have thought. Because like I supposed to wear insoles in my trainers and my shoes, that's why I have a bad back all the time and I don't wear them. And the podiatrist down in Ace, have you been to Ace in Cardiff? Are brilliant, they're really good.
There's these shoes, when you buy them, they come with, I believe it's 3 different types of soles for different people already made.
Brilliant, that was really good. Because I haven't seen a pair before. Yeah, really good.
Thank you very much.
Very
informative.
Another
very excellent presentation. Very, 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 very good.